All right, guys. I'm going to try this again. I just did the whole video. Didn't work. I'm going to try this again in my camera, and we're going to see if we can get there. Okay. Starting over. My name's Kelly. I recently spent, I think it was like 9 days, 8 nights, 8 nights, 9 days, however that works, over a week at Azul Beach Resort in Cancun. It's run by Karisma Hotel Group, I guess. And I had joined the Facebook group after booking, but prior to going, and there's a lot of bad reviews and things going on there. And so I told a lot of people in there, which is probably why you're watching this, that I would do like a full review, but there's just so much that I'm going to try to do this on video. If I do it all again and it doesn't save or upload, I'm just going to jump off a bridge. So here we are. Where am I going with this? One thing, so my husband and I, we live in Chicago. We have a 4-year-old. This is the first time we took her out of the country. We go on like 3 or 4 vacations a year. And I will tell you, I have never done a review on anywhere. So this was that bad. But there's also like some great things. I'm going to tell you everything. Good, bad, ugly. One other thing to note is like when we book vacations, I will book the shittiest hotel room and be like, let's stay longer with all the money we saved. You're like, I don't care. We're sleeping in there. I don't care. My husband cares more about the hotel room. He wants the oceanfront, the premium, this and that. He's just like, throw some money at the situation. Let's live in luxury. That being said, we always like nice places, you know? So we're not really picky. We're not complainers. We're not anything like that. So I'm going to do this review for you guys. I made some notes because you might even notice, even with the notes, I talk in circles, always. So let's get into it. 2 good things that I want to start with. This all occurred before we got there. I used a travel agent. This is the first time. Her name is Jackie at Years of Experience. She specializes in Disney. She's in America. I don't know if she can do out of America, but she can, or I don't know if she can work with clients that are out of America, but she does book things that are not Disney. She was fabulous. When we get into this, she called the hotel, called her customer care line, did all this stuff for us, finally got us upgraded to the right room. All this stuff, I literally on Thanksgiving, and I was writing her back and I'm like, girl, we will handle it. Don't worry. It's Thanksgiving. Go hang out with your family. And she's like, no, I need you to get where you should be and all this stuff. So, highly recommend her. If you need her information, DM me. And then she set this up for me, but Lomas Travel is who picked us up from the airport, took us to our hotel, and then took us back to the airport. My daughter's 4, like I said. I needed a car seat. I don't know, in Mexico, in a transport like that, you don't have to have a car seat, but I had to have a car seat. And so they had it ready. They had 2 options for me. They were right there, right when you walk out of the airport. So like you don't have to talk to all these other people who are trying to give you a taxi and not actually your tour operator. It was so easy. And you just tip the guy and you're like, see you next week. They were wonderful. All right. So we get there probably like 8 o'clock at night. Our flight was delayed. We had spent literally like 6 hours at O'Hare trying to leave. So American Airlines is not the best because they did that on the way home too. But it's kind of late, so like the check-in was quick, and we were appreciative of that. They give you this map, which I can show you in greater detail later, but they actually ended up giving us a couple maps because I kept putting them away, and I was like, I'm sorry. But so this one is the one I kept, but it showed us where to go get our COVID tests. And then there's another one where he circled some of the restaurants and stuff. And then I think he gave me one more. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, he was very nice at this point. They sign you up. You have to sign up that day for the COVID test, which I thought was included. It wasn't. It was $25 a person. I'm like, whatever. Here's all my money. Please let me go to sleep. So they give you a different paper with a QR code for the COVID test. Do that like the very next day. Sign up for an appointment. We actually did that, and we still had some issues that I'll get into. So just make sure you do it right away. So, they told us a little bit, not a ton, and we were fine with that because we were super tired. They take us to our room, and I'm looking around. It's in building 3, not building 1, where it apparently should have been, but, which I'll get into too. I'm looking around. It looks nice. It's a little bit older. It's a Mexican resort, but there's a king bed, and we thought we had 2 queen beds. We are traveling with a 4-year-old. So there's a couch. We open it up. It's a pullout. It's the most broke-ass pullout I've ever seen in my life. Like, I've slept on some bad pullouts. If you haven't slept on some bad pullouts, you should go to a different resort. Like, everybody slept on a bad pullout. This was not even. I couldn't even put my 4-year-old on it, who would only take up a little bit and doesn't know good mattresses and all like that. Like, she would have folded back into this broke ass thing. So we put it back together, and we're like, okay. So we just go down to the desk, and we're like, hey, this could even happen in the morning. And again, like, we are very nice, very understanding people. We also know that everyone working there, this is not their fault. We're like, we could do this in the morning. We can sleep with her for one night, but like, we need 2 queens. This was a different guy that checked us in. And he's like, we don't confirm 2 queens versus a king. And I'm like, okay, well, I booked 2 queens. And he's like, show me in your reservation where it says guaranteed. And I'm like, is this your answer? I literally kind of like gasped at him, and I'm like, I don't know if it says guaranteed. Is there any way you could get us into a room with 2 queens? We have a 4-year-old. We don't want to sleep 8 nights or 9 nights, whatever it was. The 3 of us in a bed, we could do it tonight. It's late. It's only still like 9 o'clock at this time. And there was an hour difference. I don't even know what time it was. It was fine. And he's like, I think he was basically like, no. And we're like, well, can we get a cot? This pull-out bed you gave us doesn't work. He's like, yes, I will send up a cot. All right, fine. We're going to live our lives with this cot. We wait a couple hours. Like, this kid's got to go to bed. No cot. We called a couple times. It's coming. All right, so we just go to bed. We all 3 sleep in the same room. The next morning, we go down. We're asking about the cot. I think that's when I emailed Jackie. She starts calling about the cot. She's like, the cot is coming. Cool, thanks. And then the cot didn't come. So then I go down there, and I'm like, we just need this cot, like, whatever. And he's like, okay, wait in your room. I'm setting up this cot. Fine. I'm waiting in the room. I think my husband went to work out because at the gym, you have to make gym times. I'm like, I got this. Go. So I'm like forcing this 4-year-old to sit in this room when she sees all the pools and the beaches. We waited for probably an hour and a half. Didn't come. So we're just like, okay, let's just go. We're going to go play for the rest of the day, whatever. Every time we kind of went by, we'd check in our cot. Never got the cot. Jackie was calling. They kept telling Jackie they were bringing the cot. So then I don't remember all the drama with this cot, but we never got the cot. And the next day is when they told us we don't have cots, like, period. We don't own them. We're like, okay, we've been waiting 2 days for this cot. So I think I emailed Jackie again, or maybe she found that out also on her side. And I don't know, you guys. But lo and behold, they moved us another day, the next day. They moved us to the premium building where we were supposed to be, to a room with 2 queens. And you know what? We saw all these cots in the hallway. So this is where we're at. She had to call. So it was Thanksgiving. So it was 3 days later. She called like her customer care line. She called the hotel. I think she had her boss call the hotel on Thanksgiving. Like all of this stuff happened. But we finally got into the premium building, which we learned was much different. The rooms are nicer. So let's see. I made a little list of things I'm going to tell you are different in the premium. Just rooms, because we're going to go over this like Titanic hierarchy. The sheets are literally different. Pillows are different. The mattress is different. They're all a little bit better. The safes in there are different. You can use the code. And, someone's still able to override it, let's be real. But the safes in the Titanic lower deck level are just a key, and ours didn't work. Of course, we had brought like $5,000 cash or some shit, and the safe didn't work in the first room. Neither did the fridge, by the way, with like the only water you can find on the whole resort. So there's a little bathtub in each room. The one in the premium rooms has bath salts. Like, it's just such a little thing. Like, why can't you give everyone some bath salts? We never even used them, but the actual towels are nicer. They're like soft towels. In the minibar, they give you glass water instead of plastic. That actually does matter to me, but like in Mexico, I never complain about it. But it's just like, having seen two, I almost felt bad being in, like, I don't want to be in the premium room. I don't want to be so snooty. Like, can't you give everyone glass water? Or everyone plastic? They give you a little more snacks. They do a turn down service. They bring slippers. The robes are actually nicer. Like, everything's just a little more luxurious. So, I mean, I guess if you're paying for more, but like, why can't everyone have those things? All right, so what do I have down in here? We finally moved. During this time that we were waiting, we didn't know we were going to be upgraded. I'm not even sure at that time we knew we were in the wrong building, because we were supposed to be in the premium building. But we didn't unpack for like 2 days, which annoyed the crap out of us. Then we finally unpacked, and that's when we had to move. So like we used 3 hours repacking, moving, whatever. Not a big deal. Carrying on. Okay, so I'm going to go through some good things first. So that was like our first few days. We're already kind of like, this isn't great. But I want to go over some good things. The staff there, besides the front desk, most of the front desk people, and I'll give you more examples, were useless and honestly rude. Like, they just came at you rudely. I swear to God, on one of the last days I was there, we were waiting in line to ask for something. And there was a girl, she was very drunk. She was in her swimsuit. She was standing there telling this desk agent, Raphael, that she was raped. I don't know what happened. I saw nothing. She was by herself. She was crying. And he was doing nothing. And then she was throwing a fit that he was doing nothing. And then she left. So when someone says they're raped, I have to assume that they are. I don't know. But he literally did nothing. Like, if this was me, I'd be like, okay, if you don't care, that's fine. Can you pick up the phone for me and call 911? Why she wasn't calling 911 herself, I don't know. I'm just saying this is what I overheard. And any other place, I would have been like besties with the front desk guy by now. And I'd be like, hey, bro, what happened? Raphael was the most useless of all of them. And honestly, the rudest. There was one guy there who was like pretty nice, but still useless. He'd just like put you off and be like, yep, I'm going to send it. Never sent anything we asked for. Every time we had to go back 3 or 4 times. Anyways, the rest of the staff, the housekeeping, all of the wait staff, the entertainment staff, the bartenders. I did not run into the spa staff. Everyone else was 100% useful, 100% kind, polite, all of these things. The kids club staff was phenomenal. Please remember to tip the staff for everything. Just because it's all inclusive does not mean you don't tip. We tipped Every buffet time we went to, it's a buffet, I get it. But leave 3 or 4 singles on the table. They're still bringing your drinks. Da-da-da. Tip these people. The next good thing was the kids club. The staff was amazing. My daughter had a great time. We have an only child. We specifically, the reason we even hired a travel agent is because I'm like, you do this research on hotels and like what you see or read is never really what you get. So I was like, I need someone else who knows these places to talk to me about the kids club. She wants to go all day. I'm not looking for someone to like, I'll bring a nanny. We can afford to bring a nanny had we wanted to. But like my daughter loves other kids and we don't have one. So we wanted to book a place she could go to the kids club all the time. The unfortunate part, and it might be COVID, it might not be, I don't know, but you could only go 2 sessions per day. There were only 3 sessions per day available. So there were 3, you picked the 2 times that worked for you. They are 10 to 12, 2 to 4, or 7 to 8:30. 10 to 2, 2 to 4 it was usually a craft, which she loved. I think they played bingo once. 7 to 8:30 is movie night. One other thing that I had thought about this kids club that did not end up being true, and this did not seem COVID related, was they don't leave the little kids club building. It was super cool in there. It looked fun. They had it all painted like water, and she still loved it, you guys. But they're not going on scavenger hunts. They're not going... I thought they were doing stuff like, I specifically swore I read about this scavenger hunt, that they would go around the hotel and stuff. We've been to other all-inclusives, not out of the United States, but we went to Club Med in Florida, and they took the kids to the little splash pad, which is right next door, and whatever. So it was fine. Again, she did not care, but just so you know. Again, the staff was amazing. She loved them so much. Tipped them at the end too, more than just a few dollars. It seemed very sanitary. They sanitized her hands before every time. There was no shoes. You took your shoes off. They checked your temperature. So if anyone's worried about germs and stuff like that, it seemed good. Couple tips for the kids club. You need to sign up for the sessions the day before, and you need to go at like 9 or 9:30. If you go at noon, they might not get you in that day. That probably is COVID related. They're probably only taking a few kids, or I don't know, a few, but like a certain amount of kids. Also, when you get up there, if you pull the door, you're gonna think it's closed and you can't see anyone in there. It's not. You need to ring the bell. It seemed like someone was always there, even when it wasn't a session. But if you go up there and try to pull the door, it's locked, which is nice. And, don't just leave. Ring the bell. They'll come. They'll help you. Okay, so that's that. The spa was very nice. We did a couples massage. I went like a few minutes earlier than him because he had to drop her at kids club. This was our fault, but we made our spa appointment for the time, and you can't drop her 5 minutes early at kids club. You have to drop her. So he came late and he didn't get his full 80 minutes. But when I was checking in, he's like, "Do you want to wait for your husband?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think I need to." It didn't click to me that it was an actual couples massage and we were supposed to be in the same room. So we didn't end up doing that. But we both got our 80-minute massages. It was $300, which is not bad. And then they had a special, that was a special. They had a special for a person, like if just you wanted to do it. I don't know how many minutes it was. It was 60 or 80. That was $200. But you also got to use the hydrotherapy room, which we did not get. If you want to just go use that one day, it's $45. But I went in there and looked, and there are like 3 little hot tubs, a sauna, a steam room, and a shower. So if you like that, you want to use that. So my woman checked me in. She's like, it's going to be 80 minutes. I'm sorry. What kind of massage do you want? Like relaxing, deep tissue. And I'm like, I do deep tissue at home for like, actual health reasons, I guess. I don't know, to help my muscles. And so I'm like, I'm used to deep tissue. Let's do can we do half and half? She's like, yep. So if you're signing up for deep tissue, make sure you know what you're doing, because I do them at home every 2 weeks by a huge man. This tiny little woman beat the shit out of me. But that is not a complaint. That is, you get what you ask for. And so I just want to be sure, don't anyone say you want deep tissue if you don't, because it was painful. And you can tell them to lighten up. But she's good at deep tissue. So if you ask for that, you're going to get that. One other little thing is it was 80 minutes. That's kind of a long time. I didn't even know it was going to be. Didn't even want 80 minutes. So I didn't mind this too much, but she goes around your body. She did a ton of work on my back and arms, which is where I hold pain. I had told her that. But then she went down to my feet and massaged them good for a minute. And then I was one time I checked to see if she was awake, because she was and it wasn't pressure points. I know pressure points. She was massaging, then she'd stop. And then 2 or 3 minutes would go by. I'm and she did that a couple times. So I don't know if her hands were getting tired, which is fair. It's 80 minutes. But again, it wasn't a pressure point or anything. She just kind of took a break. Not a big deal. Tip them when you're done as well. So that was that about the spa. Also, check mark for the spa. Great. Okay, also on our good list, the beach was nice. Hold on 1 second. I'm getting tons of texts. The beach was nice. Oh my gosh, all these texts. I'm sorry. They're all coming in. I saw some people on the Facebook group asking if it was the blue water. It's not. It's kind of a murky, but it was warm-ish. It was warmer than the pools. It's a little bit rocky. We brought beach shoes. Just, pack your beach shoes. It was seaweed free right now while we were there, but it's my understanding that that's seasonal. But there were workers down there every morning raking. It seemed like they really tried hard to keep it nice. There are plenty of chairs, but again, with the hotel rooms and the Titanic hierarchy of people, there was a side for the non-premium members and a side for the premium members. All the beds were nicer at the premium members. It just drives me crazy. And we were in a premium room. It still drives me crazy that you're segregating people like that. Whatever. So just know that. You cannot go in all the white beds. There's a rope, they will tell you. And you have to tell them your room number. It has to start with a 1. And they will, don't just pick a room number because they check your last name. Just so you know. So that was that. Good, but a check mark for the beach. Trying to think if there was anything else about the beach. No, there's no bar down there, or no food. There used to be a beach barbecue. That's close, but you can just walk right up. And sometimes there's waiters walking around. Another good thing. Let me see how much time I'm running out of. I don't know how long to turn this off and start a new one. I'm gonna go with one more good thing, and then we're gonna start over. They had shows every night. They have a big stage. It's semi-open air, but covered. So a couple times it rained, and it leaked a little, but you're not getting soaked. I'm pretty sure every night they have a show. My daughter loved the magic show. The magician was honestly amazing. And then he did literally probably 10 minutes of shadow creatures. It was super cool. Set to music. I was in love. They did an Elvis show, which the kids didn't really care about. They did a Michael Jackson show, which again, the kids didn't care about. Then they had a circus, which I'm oh, finally, Madam will like one. It was kind of more like a talent show. There was a lot of breakdancing. It was cool. The kids liked that one a little more, but it was not a circus. The show started at 9. You need to get there an hour before. So it's a little late for kids. Again, not all the shows were for kids, but if you have a kid, somebody has to watch them. There's no more kids club. So if you want to go to the show, you have to bring the kid. Madden got to stay up super late. But that's like kind of a no. So the shows were great, but like we're leading into the bad stuff because like this is kind of not a kid's place. I know there's a kids club. You can go for 2 sessions a day, but setting up shows at night, there's nothing else for the kids to do. When you pick them up from the movie at 8:30, you better be ready to go to bed, unless you go to the show. There's nothing else, no nighttime activities for kids. It's obviously dark. It's just, I wouldn't say this was a kid's place, which was interesting because I signed up solely for a kid's place. But I don't think, my travel agent did not know that either. And she has asked multiple times for these reviews so that she can know these things. So, I'm running out of throat talking. Let me restart this video and we'll get into the bad. Because I don't know how long, I don't want to do this a third time. And now my phone's ringing. Okay, so I will restart this.